Hi guys, how are you? My name is Mark Njoroge. I am an online tutor. I make online tutorial videos. My YouTube channel is official Mark Mungai. Please subscribe. You can also like my page on Mark Mungai, Facebook page on Mark Mungai. Please subscribe. God bless you. Good morning guys, how are you? Good morning students. I hope God has blessed you and God has kept you well and sound. Again today we want us to do again another question on Locus. This is section B question. As you can see very well, it is a 20 marks question, and in this question you're supposed to draw a locus of this point. The question says figure 2 shows a mechanism for a hydraulic pump. Crank OA rotates about center O. Crank OA rotates at the center, carrying with the link AC. This is AC, whose end is connected to a link CD. This is CD, and CE, and this is CE. So E is the one moving in a linear motion like this. It is displacement of E is a linear displacement. Link CD is jointed at D. So we have a point D. This point, it is jointed at here, while link CE operates a reciprocating pump in piston. This is the one now doing what? Moving like this, operating. So plot the locus of point B. So this point, for one revolution, complete revolution of crank OA. Then measure and indicate the stroke of the piston. Measure and indicate the stroke of the piston. So we are supposed to measure CE. This is the stroke. CE, you're supposed to measure CE and draw a locus of point B. That is as simple as that. Given OA is 36, AB is 50, BC is 22, CD is 48, DE is 108, as I've shown you in that thumbnail. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel and I will show you more. So this is the very first thing, as I've told you and I've shown you from the previous video. What you do, you draw a straight line, a reference line like that, then choose a reference point like this. Choose a reference point like this from any point that you see, then like that. After you've chosen a reference point like that, so the very next thing that you do now, after you've gotten a point, let this be point E, let this be point E. So from point E to point D there, we are told that is a distance of 108. So using a ruler, again, measure 108 like this, 108, 10.8. Using a ruler and your compass like that, that is 10.8. At this particular point, stand here, make a mark like that. So having made a mark like that, stand here with your ruler like this, at this point like that, again draw it like that. So there we have our D. So having our D like this, the next thing that you're supposed to do after you've achieved our point D like that, we are told that from a point D, going at this point, you're supposed to go 21 millimeters, which is like 21 centimeters. Again, using your ruler, again, your ruler and your measure 2.1 centimeters like that. That now is our 2.1 centimeters. So from this point, again like this, you draw a mark like that. So from that point, again, you draw a straight line, protruding up very quickly because of time, like that. After you've done a straight line like that, you're told from this point, let us go a distance of 72 up, as I've shown you there in that thumbnail. So 72, 7.2 centimeters. So from point D, you measure 72. That is our 72. Again, from this point, you project a line going across like that. After you project a line going across like that, so here you have gotten our point O. This is our point O. So from point O, we are told there's point O to point A. We have it as a radius of 36. So that is 3.6 centimeters. Using your ruler, again measure 3.6 centimeters. Again at this particular point, as you can see, this is our 3.6 centimeters. So starting from this point O, you draw a circle like this. Now we are almost done drawing this mechanism. So after you've achieved that, you can decide to practically, to project your lines up like that. So after you've achieved that, now petition. Now you can cut this into 12 equal parts. I have shown you like that in my previous video, like that. Stand on the opposite side like that, again on this particular point, again like that. Stand on this middle point like this, again like this. Stand on this particular point, like again like this, and stand on the other opposite side like that. So at this point here we have achieved this. So this is our A. Our A is at this point. This is our A1, and you're told it is rotating in this direction. It is going in an anti-clockwise direction. So from there we have that. So we have this. So we want to look for our point B and C. So we are told that line AB is 50 and BC is 22. So AC will always be 72. So measure your 72 using your ruler, 7.2 centimeters. This is our 7.2 centimeters. Standing at this point A that you have achieved, again you just strike an arc like that. Then you are told a line from D to a point here which you are calling line DC. Line CD is 48. So measure your 4.8 centimeters like this. So that is our 4.8 centimeters. Starting at this particular point like this, you strike an arc. This is where they intersect. Where they intersect at this point, that's where we have our point C. We are told that they are linked together, so you link them together. You link A and C like this, like that. Then link our D and C like this, D and C like that. Then we are told that C and E are linked. This is where you are supposed to measure. You're supposed to measure this point and this point. That's what the question is asking, that we measure and indicate the stroke of the piston. So this is the stroke of the piston. If you measure it by default like this, like that, we find that the measurement of this will be 7.9. 7.9. That is a stroke. 7.9. That is EC. EC is equals to 7.9 centimeters or 79 millimeters. That is what we have it. Then the next thing that you do from there, now you want to look for point B, AB. AB, we are told it is 50, so you measure 50. AB is 50, or CB. CB is 22. CB is 22, and the other one is 50. So you can choose either of what you want. You can maybe choose this, your 50 like this, or maybe choose the 22, because the 22 will be more simpler than any other one. So this one will take a bit more time so that you understand. So CB, so at this point here, so here we have our B. So for one complete revolution, we are supposed to repeat this same formula in all of this. So first join all these parts, join these parts together, join these parts, the one like this, join the other one from this point, again at this point and this point like that, join at this point and this point like that. So there we have A1, let this be our A2, A3, A4, A5, let this be our A6, A7, A8, A9, A10, A11, A12. Having it like that, now I want to show you now how to draw the locus of point B. So this is our B1, this is our C1 like that, and this is our E1. At this point, this is our E1. This is the one, remember, this is the one moving. So the next thing that you do now, we are told from A1 to B to A1 to C1 is 70. It is 72. So you measure 7.2 centimeters here from this, again like that. So having got your 7.2 centimeters like this, stand here on this A2. Here at this point, you strike an arc like that. Then measure again 48 from this 4.8 centimeters. This is our 4.8 centimeters. From this point D, which is stationary, strike an arc. Where they intersect at this point here, where they're intersecting, we have now achieved our C2. So again, join A1 and C2. Join it correctly like this. Join it at this point like that. After you've joined it like that, now join it with D. Join it here with D like that. So you join this with our D and C. You join it from this point to this point, join it like that. But now we have been told to measure EC. EC, we have found it as 7.9 centimeters. So again, using your ruler, you measure your 7.9 centimeters. So from here, 7.9 centimeters will be at this point. This is our 7.9. So using our 7.9, you stand at this particular point, strike on this line, this vertical line here. So at this point here, we have our E2 like that. So join this C2 and E2 like this. So we are supposed to repeat this process for all the others like that. So you see at this point and at this point. So you have been able to achieve this. So you are looking for our B2. Stand at this point, strike an arc like that. Here we have our B2 like that. The next thing again, we repeat the same procedure. So we repeat our 72. Where is our 72? This will be our 72. 7.2 centimeters will be at this point. Again, standing at A3 like this. Strike an arc, random arc like that. Again, measure it back to 48 like this. Again, stand from D, strike an arc. This is where they are intersecting at this point. So yeah, we have our C3. Having our C3 at that particular point, you join it with our A3. C3 and A3, you join it this point and this other point like that. So this is our C3 and A3. Having done that, from our C3 we know we're supposed to measure 7.9. Supposed to measure 7.9. So you measure your 7.9. These are 7.9 like this, like that. So with your 7.9, stand at this particular point, mark it like that. So at this point we have our E3 like that. Then measure your B. Your B, stand at this point, measure your B like this. At this particular point you have your B3. Having your B3 like that, so we have the locus of our B3. B1, B2, B3. Repeat the same procedure. So you're looking for our B. You're looking for our B, our A4 now. A4, we know that you're supposed to go a distance of 7.2. So let us measure a distance of 7.2. 7.2 is at this particular point. From A here, strike a random arc at any place like that. Then measure it back to 7.8 to 4.8. Take your 4.8 at that point. Then stand at this particular point, strike an arc like that. Where they're intersecting, this is the point they're intersecting. So we have our C4 at that point. Having your C4 at that point, you now again join it. Again you join it. So C4 and A4, you join it very well like that. So having done that, again from there you're supposed to measure a distance of 7.9. So measure your 7.9 like that. From this point again, cut across this line like this. So at this point we have our E4. So this point and this point, you join them together like this, joining them together like this, from this point to this point like that. So from this C4 we want to look for our B4. So stand at this point, mark it like that. So at this particular point here we have our B4. Repeat the same procedure. Have your 7.2 on your compass like that. Stand on A5 here, mark a random arc like that. Repeat the same. Take your 48 or 4.8 centimeters. At this point D like this, you strike an arc like that. Where they intersect like this, you have your C5. So from here you join it with our A5. From C5 to A5 like that. Having joined it like that, we have our 7.9. From this point here, measure your 7.9 at that point. This now is our A5. So join it again using this and this. Bring it together, join it like that. After joining it, look for your B5. B5, stand at this point, mark it like that. At this particular point here, you have your B5. Then again, repeat the same procedure where we have our 7.2. That is our 7.2 from where? From A6. So A6 here, you make a mark like that. Then take your 7.8, 4.8 from this particular point. Again, get your 4.8 like that, stand at this point, strike an arc like that. Where they're intersecting, at this particular juncture. Here we have our C6. C6, join it with our A6. C6, join it with our A6 like this. Then we know from C6 we have another one, another E6. So from this point we make a mark like that of 7.9. Here what do we have? From this point here we have our A6. So A6, join it with our C6 like this. You repeat the same procedure like that. Then we are looking for our B6. So we'll have to stand at this particular point and mark it there. So here we have our B6. Repeat the same procedure. A7. A7. So here we have our 48. That is our 40. Our 4.8. So you can stand at this point and maybe mark. Okay, you can take your 7.2 first. Let us not confuse ourselves and do the same way that we have been doing from the beginning. So standing at our A7 at this point, again make a mark like that. Take again 4.8 again like this from this particular point like that. Stand at this point D, then strike M, strike a mark like that. So you see we have to extend the other one, so 7.2, so that we can see the point of intersection. So 7.2 from A7, this is A7.2 was at this particular point. Or 4.8 again, 4.8 from this point. This is it. This is where they're intersecting at this point. So here we have our C7. Having our C7 at this point, join it with our A7. From this point and this point, you join it like that. So we know from this point here we're supposed to get a 7.9 line from this point to get our E. So you point it like this. This is at this point, joining it this line, joining this line, and these are the lines from this point and this point, like this, C7 to E7 like that, A7 like that at this point. So from this point you want to look for our B7. You mark it like that. So this becomes our B7. When we have our B7, we go to our A8. A8 from this point, we are looking for 7.2. Again, using the same mechanism, 7.2. This is our 7.2 from A8 like this. Strike a mark like that. Striking a mark like that, take your 4.8 again to look for DC. So our DC is 4.8. Standing at D, you strike a mark like that. Where they intersect is at this particular point. This is where exact same place we had our B4. So this is our C8. Having our C8 at this point, join it again completely well. Join it with A8 like that. Standing from C8 again, you know we're supposed to have another line of 7.9. So stand here, join it like this. So at this point here we have A9. Having our A9 from where? From this point. So we join it again like this. A9, A8, A8, and A8, not A9. These are E8 like that. So we want to look for our B8. Starting at this particular point again, strike and mark like that. At this particular point we have our B8 like that. Next thing, we go to 9 here. So we will measure 7.2. Repeat the same procedure over and over again. Don't get bored. For you to get your 20 marks and pass your exam. Again, strike a mark like that randomly. Take your 4.8 again. Very much correctly like that. Very nicely make a mark. Where the intersecting is at this point, you just have to be very careful. This is our C9. So C9, join it with our A9. C9, join it with our A9. Very simple marks, 20 marks like that. And you know from C9 you have to get another 7.9 along this line. So you cut it at that point. So that's where we have our E9 at this point. E9 and C9, this point and that other point. Here and here, you join it like that. But at C9, where we have our C9, this point, we are supposed to have another B. So from this point, you look for our B9. So we have it at this point. This is our B9. So again, we have remaining 2 more points, 10. Here we have 4.9, 7.2. Again, 7.2 from 10. Strike a mark like that. To striking a mark like that, take your 4.8 very nicely like this. So again, from this point, you strike it like that. Where they're intersecting at this point. So this becomes our C10. Where our C10 is, you join it with our A10. This point and this point. Join it like that. So we know, let us first look for our B10. So from here, you strike it like that. So this is our B10. And let us look for our CE, which is 7.9. So CE, from this point, you strike it like that. So here we have our E10 at this point. So this point and that other point, and this point and that other point, join them like that. So which is the other point? The other point is 11 and 12. So don't get tired. Again, using 7.2 centimeters, 7.2. Again, the remaining 7.2 from 11 point. This point, strike a mark, strike an arc at random, like that. Again, take your 4.8 centimeters. Yes, like that. Standing at this point, you mark it. Where are they intersecting? Intersecting at this point. This is how we have our C11. C11. Link it with CA11. At this point, let us look for our B11. B11 at this point here. So here we have our B11. Having our B11, not from the C11, we must have another CE. So C11 is our C11. We mark it at this point. So where they're intersecting, from this point here, from this point and this point, join the mechanism like this, like that. And the last one was A12. A12 is 7.2. Get your 7.2 correctly like this. Having it correctly like this, at this point, make a mark. Just strike like that. Take your 7.8 again, 4.8, sorry. Again, like this, starting at this point. Intersect. Where are they intersecting? They're intersecting at this point. Draw a straight line linking A, C12, like that. From this point, you're supposed to get our B12, B12, B12 from this point, like that. So have our B12, and you know from this point you're supposed to have it. Have a 7.9. It's almost the same place. So you join it like this, from this line, from this line to this line, like that. So we have achieved our B, our B's. So here it can be very confusing, but be very careful, please. So start with your B1. This was our B1. This was our B2. If this was our B1, B2, we look for our B3. Our B3 was at this point. Again, at that point. Where was our B4? This is our B4. Pass it there. What was our B5? B5 was at this point. B6, B7, B8. This is our B9. This is our B9. B10. B11, B12, go back to B1, like that. That now becomes the locus of that point. KNEC will always complicate things for you. They will never give you easy time. They'll always give you microscopic, confusing things so that you will be confused and give up. But don't give up on your school fees, don't give up on your life, don't give up on your God, don't give up on your parent. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch more. God bless you.